Hello, how are you guys doing today? We are going to be doing a church build on this lot, as you can see from the title and description. Oh, not description, what is it? Thumbnail of the video. Originally I was gonna do multiple homes on this lot, just because I figured it's kind of a big lot to work on to do a home. Maybe that's because I've been doing smaller homes lately, because the other builds were on like 20 by 15, 30 by 20 size lots, I believe, or 2020. No, I believe it was 20. I don't know, but either way, they're smaller size lots, so I figured it was a bit hard to kind of come up with something of a bigger space, but which is odd because I've been saying how much I've been lacking space, just because I've been wanting to add more bedrooms, and now I have a space and it's too much. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel when I get to the other neighborhoods of the Willow Creek that have those bigger homes. So we'll see when we get there. But for now, I figured, let's just keep this area with the small homes. I was also thinking of copying the shells that are around here, but I don't know. That was obviously an idea. As you see that pink one behind, I was considering doing that one, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do it for the BFF house lot. That one is even bigger than this lot, which is this one's a 30 by 20. The BFF house lot is a 40 by 20. So we'll have to see how that one goes. But yeah, because I'm also have an idea or wondering if I should do a like multiple homes on that lot as well. Maybe I can fit in 3, but we'll see how that is with spacing. But yeah, because I also consider if I just do one home, just because I am doing this build or rebuilding of the world at Willow Creek using strictly base game items, and I figured just because the residential rental lot type is not in base game, like, would that be, kind of cheating in a way? Not cheating, but wouldn't really make sense. I mean, you could lock doors for Sims to not have access. That's what I used to do before the for rent pack came out, and that was an option. So there are ways to maneuver that and, make it work. But at the same time, who am I to talk? Because I am building a church, and that is not a base game lot type, as I kept a generic lot type. I actually don't really understand how generic lot types work. I'm pretty sure Sims can travel to them, but in terms of will they be doing the activity and such, I am not sure. Because in this world I did, or in this, not the world, but in this lot I did try to get in some activities for the Sims to use, just because obviously with the sitting in the church, not really gonna have much to do, just because you don't have church lot types. I know we have the cemetery lot types, but that comes with came with the life and death pack, so that is something. But yeah, but for activities I went ahead and added a room, an art room. I just figured, obviously restrictions aside of what the base game items are, and little art room would be a good thing to have, just to have like some community activity to do. I also had some instruments in by the main church room. I'm not exactly sure what you call it. I don't really go to church, so I don't really know the altar, I guess, where the little stage that the priest goes up and talk. So on there, I have a guitar, some violins, mic, and there's a little piano in that room, as well as obviously the seating and the little design, stuff of the sort. Try to get in as much as I could, but yeah. I also got the inspiration for having church here because I was on Tumblr. That's usually one of my go-tos when trying to find inspiration, that alongside with Pinterest. But on Tumblr you can see a lot of save files and see what people did and placed on certain lots. And I saw one where they put a church here, and then across the lot on the BFF house they had multiple homes. So I figured that would be a good thing to add. I'm not exactly sure what the name of the account was, but you can just search up on Tumblr, put Sims 4 Willow Creek, and I think that's all I did to find ideas. That was pretty self self-explanatory, I guess. Yeah, I didn't really do any interesting searches, but I did that just to get, again, ideas of what to put. But I figured as well the church would be good just because I know Easter is coming up, and the homes are very colorful with the yellow, green, and blue, and it felt like a church would be nice addition, just because I could imagine like the Sims coming to the church in their, Easter outfits and colorful outfits. So I figured that'd be a nice little thing to imagine. Like, that's what the vision I had in my head. So that's why I thought, yeah, maybe a church would be a good way, or good lot to have. So that's what I did. I also I also based this build off of one on Pinterest. Let me see if I can find it. I'll pop it up on the screen right now. It says the Trinity Lutheran Church. I don't know where this is located, but that's the name of the church. Another thing I did, now that I'm looking at the image, there's a cross on top. There wasn't many rooftop or sculptures or items I could have added. There was like the chimneys and the bells, but I just felt like it wasn't really matching, or nothing really fit. The bell could have fit, but there wasn't the right color, just because I'm keeping the color scheme to the one of the image, which is just white and all white build, and yeah, didn't think the other ones did a good match in terms of swatching, so I opted out of that. I'm trying to think what else I did. Oh, I also changed the fencing. I was trying to get in here I am attempting to do some little decorations, just to add a little something. I feel like decorations really help, especially when playing with base game. We are going to be limited in the items that we can use. I figured, decorative pieces will help bring a little interest to it, as well as landscaping. I think landscaping really helped, just because, like with trees, always you can cover the empty walls that we have. Here I was trying to use these. I really liked the look of it. I just felt like it was, because like ornate details in my mind, it felt churchy. But yeah, I didn't really know, like, was trying to make do with what we had. But yeah, I think I was trying these things here. I don't know what I was thinking, but I just wanted it to, thinking I was gonna add a little something, because I feel like that kind of reminds me, or makes me feel like it looks like something more like southern and older style. Don't know why, but it just felt that. I felt that it would work, but I ended up switching that out for, I believe I did a window there. Did I? Yeah, okay, I did. I think I did a window. I really wanted these big windows just because I just felt like I had a little something, but I'm looking at it, I'm glad it didn't work, because it's a bit too much. Yeah, it's way too big. Because then I did these here, the smaller ones, which I like, and nothing wrong with it, but because I believe in the reference image, there is that circular window. I believe that's the top. I'm sorry, I'm just checking real quick. Yeah, they have a circular window, but I figured these here would be nicer just because a little detailing, just a little interest, just because the windows I'm going to use for the rest of the build are going to be those arc windows here, just because, again, I feel like a little detail would very much help, because like I said, I feel like detailing really does bring together builds, especially like I feel like I'm reading myself, but base game really needs details. We'll set aside from the obvious lack of items, because if you see here just from the windows, we already have like 8 2 4 yeah, 8 windows there, so it's like, yeah, I'm trying to make it work. But yeah, I also, trees really saved the day, because I was trying to cover up all the spots I didn't like. So that was something. But yeah, I feel that this really does work. It kind of reminds me of like, and obviously it's nothing like the church and centers, but like that's kind of like aesthetic I was going for with the like southern feel. So yeah, I feel like white church in my mind is, well, they're pretty common. I wouldn't say it's not really a southern Pacific thing. They're just common, I guess. But yeah, trying to think what else I did. Because inside as well, I kept the paneling the same, but I did darken it by adding the wood flooring. I also changed the ceilings. I'm not sure if I did it already, but I did the white, what is it? Some white wood for the roofing, but I ended up changing it to I don't think I ended up changing it. I remember comparing the two, but I don't remember which one I stuck to, because I feel like with tall walls you can get away with putting darker floors, because even though the dark floors, well, they make it look smaller just because the walls are pretty tall, you obviously can get away with it because the height is obviously there. But yeah, overall I'll say this was definitely a good, I'm very happy with that I ended up doing a little church here, just because I figured nothing wrong having it built, but I feel like this, like I said, this is helping bring together the aesthetic that I wanted with that small town, like not everyone knows each other, but very familial kind of area. So yeah, very happy with that. Also here I'm just comparing colors, and I can barely tell, but I went with the one on the right just because I but I felt that it was a little bit more weathered. And I just wanted something that looked like it's obviously gonna be weathered down, because also these railings also have that weathered look, but I ended up switching them out for an all white railing instead, that is made of, or looks to be like it's made of iron. Well, I did like them just because of the brown detailing, because as you see I did that with the trims, and as well as the windows or arches in the clock tower. I was really trying to get in the details, as I've been mentioning throughout this video, but I figured these here add a little more, like I said, because to me they look like they're made of iron, and it's also more delicate and doesn't really draw your attention as much as these previous railings, just because they are thicker and these are thinner and you can obviously see more. But I just felt like it just wasn't as not covered, but it just felt better with the new ones here, for lack of better words. But yeah, also then I thought of adding more detailing with the doors, just because I was really trying to bring in that brown end, but I felt like with the all white exterior will be pretty clean, like a simple look. Didn't want to not interfere, but change it too much to the original, not original, but the reference image, just because I feel like if my eyes were drawn to that reference image, I might as well stick to it and try to keep it as close to it as possible. Also, I want to say, these tiles that I'm about to put right now, well, not those, but the ones I end up choosing, I didn't really have this shade. I never really clicked on the different swatches for this tile. I'm not sure if that's oh, this is the white wood I was talking about earlier, but the tiles, I don't know if that was the latest base game update or what, but I don't think so, at least not that I remember or can recall. I don't think I noticed it. It probably has been here or been there for a while, just haven't used that tile, probably because I'm just used to it being that color only and not having any different options. Also, one thing I was really happy about was this tile here, the perfect squares. The way I didn't even plan it, but just the way it ended up working. So I was very happy with that. It's a little thing, but I was very excited over that. And yeah, I was wondering doing this one, that red brick, because I do like the look and the contrast. But again, like I said, I want with the all white. I feel like it was a bit too much. It'll draw your attention in too much. I didn't want to do that. So I didn't, basically. Also with this, I wanted to do a little cemetery area. Obviously with base game, there isn't much options. There's just these two, headstones. So I couldn't have any variety in terms of headstones, but I figured it'll be enough just because the area, as you see here, is going to be pretty small. So I think I ended up doing a total of I believe 5, but yeah, I think it worked either way. I was trying to make it, or add different more arches, just to add a little more difference, but I feel like it was a bit too much. I was also wondering how to like with a stone and cutting it off pretty short because I didn't want it to affect the greenery where the cemetery is going to be. But in the end, I think because I was wondering if for the cemetery section or little area, I was going to do a little walkway and stuff like that, but I just figured to keep it as green as possible, just to also contrast or help contrast with the all white and the stone buildings, just because I didn't want it to be too white. So yeah, I think green really did help bring it together. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory, or at least for me, I feel like having greenery really does bring in up or light in the place, help bring life, just because this neighborhood area there's plenty of trees around. I definitely tried to put as much as I could, just for having shade and stuff of that sort. So I feel like this would be a place you would just have trees really. But yeah, I also went ahead and just like loaded the place with bushes. This is not the bushes I was using for the rest of the builds, just because I was trying to use as much of the builds or much of the greenery that the surrounding world has. But I felt that this was the best bush to have, just because the other one that I have been using for the other builds, it wasn't snapping to the point because it was just not like connecting, like as you saw earlier, it was lifted up a bit, and I don't have the tool mod downloaded again after the update, which I probably should check on that. But yeah, so I didn't want to deal with that, so I ended up just using these just because it's much more simpler. Also littered the bottom of the bush with these flowers here, just because I didn't like the look of having, like I see here, the empty spaces under the bushes. I felt that the plant or flowers would be a good thing to add, and also it has a little color, even though it is just a white flower. But the swatch or the green swatch match, so I went ahead and added that. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else I did for coloring. I think I littered the rest with other plants and flowers, except for this spot I'm doing here. I kept this open and green. I think I just added like a tree or something there, but yeah, kept it very minimal in terms of decoration. Also here, I just thought a tree would be nice just to have when you're looking out the window to see a tree. Not necessarily that I wanted to cover that up, because sometimes I put like, I really wanted this tree, for example, just because the tree would be a very good, good match. I ended up putting different type, but I really do love that tree. But yeah, I did this one here just because I didn't want it to like come in through the the walls, just because I know sometimes when the wind items or the wind is blowing, the trees can sway. That was not like something I considered, which is very obvious if you think about it, but I used to just place down trees and just think it's not going to be touching the build because it's not when it's still, but obviously tree moves and it's going to be near walls, so definitely kept that in mind. But I see here, just adding those trees alone, I feel like really does make it, adds a little something that I just love. What else did I do? Yeah, like I said, just more trees. I don't remember putting that there. Okay, I was gonna say, I don't remember putting tree there, just because I feel like that tree there blocked a little too much of the build that I wanted to showcase. And yeah, learning up with the landscaping is probably my favorite part, just because there's less thinking. The floor plan was the hardest for me, just because I couldn't really think of what a church would need, or what it should have. But I mean, I put the obvious altar, I believe. Again, I should be looking this up. I don't really know the name. But yeah, also statues. I did try to get in some statues. I don't know, I just felt like this little girl and would be something, because we don't really have any items. Well, we do have those angels, but those are in a different pack, so I was gonna use those. But I feel that without having any obvious like religious religion like items, it still gives off church feel, so I'm happy with that. I mean, I definitely put the essentials down. I also did for a floor plan. Again, I kept the hallways pretty big, which is just gonna have your items that are like for they have some, I don't know how to describe it. My mind's really blanking today. It's like a little help yourself section where you're gonna have items that the community needs and stuff like that. So, little help and community, what a church should be. But yeah, I added that in the little art room, and then obviously your area for the priest and everything. Also this area here, I was thinking of doing like a little seating area, maybe a waterfall kind of thing, but I just felt that I just didn't like the look of the cement just carrying over into this area. So I'm just switching to this art here. I know that you cannot do wedding venues in base game, but I figured if you guys do download it and add other packs, a little wedding area here could be nice, just because I wasn't worried about it being too small, just because this is from a small, like, this neighborhood's pretty small, this cul-de-sac. So yeah, I figured having a little area would not be too bad. I didn't went ahead and decorate with chairs or anything, but I just figured having that, be an option would be nice. Yeah. What else did I do? Yeah, I don't think I did much here. Just did 3 more headstones, added a little bit of flowers, and did more landscaping under that tree. And yeah, kept it pretty simple. I believe I did like a little light just over, little outdoor light to have some, obviously, light. But yeah, also was gonna do that little fencing just to make it look like, or whether just have like a little border around the gravestone, or maybe look like it's recent. But I figured having this open, maybe like, just, I feel like it's just nice enough. I like it, so that's what I had and did. Trying to think what else I did in this area. Yeah, I believe that was it. Yeah, I think the rest of it was just landscaping. It took a total of an hour and 20 minutes is like recording time for just exterior and landscaping alone. So it was a bit of time. But yeah. And then the interior, I decided just to do that on my own and then record myself doing that, just because I didn't want the video to get too long, because it's already like almost 32 minutes. Well, basically 32 minutes of just the speed build portion, obviously not the video tour at the end. But yeah, I'm trying to get better at talking for longer amount. That sounds like wrong. I'm getting used to talking for a long time. One day I'll get there. I've already done 50 videos. I'm almost at 60, and I still have yet to get good at talking. So we'll see. I recently listened to, I'm getting into Caleb Perrin's podcast, The So True. It was pretty funny. I was watching his with, what's his name? Chris Fleming, I believe. I've heard him before, but I haven't really watched much of his work, but he's a comedian. But it was pretty funny the way he talks, and he's just like, how he gets off track, and then it's just a story you want to hear, then he never finishes it. And I feel like that's how I am when I'm talking. I'm not in these builds, I haven't really done much, but I know I have that issue, so I'm like, am I bad at doing that as well? Even though I'm not telling stories, I'm just explaining my thought process within the speed builds. But maybe one day when I get better at and more comfortable speaking, because I used to take, I think I took what was it called? I took some college course in high school. They were having that little program, and I took public speaking, and the professor, she would just obviously critique our presentational skills, as well as how we build up how we put together sentences. And basically first, as you can tell, if you can tell, I did not do good. I basically got a pity pass on that course because I suffer from social anxiety. So I would go, whenever I presented, I'm sure if you guys can relate, probably if you have social anxiety, like I do, or been stage fright, I would not pass out and actual bathtub. I never got unconscious, but I would go up. I would just remember the feeling. My leg would be shaking, my hands would be, sweaty, my heart would be beating, and then my name gets called. I go up. Next thing I know, I'm sitting back down. Like, I wouldn't remember anything in between, and that was obviously not good, but that's how I was. So she let me pass with a C. So grateful for that, even though I didn't really. I mean, it was a learning experience for sure. Definitely, even though I'm still not the greatest talker, as you can tell, which is very odd. Like, English is my first language, and yet I suck at it. So that's something. But yeah, don't know why I'm just talking about that. But yeah, that was very. Again, back to not finishing. I don't remember what the point that was. Yeah. Anyway, landscaping. Landscaping honestly was probably my favorite part of this build, just because it's very fun to, put some green around, and yeah. Also, with landscaping, I got a comment a while ago about someone liked my landscaping. I'm sorry, I don't remember your comment, but it really does mean a lot, because landscaping is something I've always felt that I didn't do good enough. So I'm really glad you liked it, because that really did give me a boost of confidence. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah. Also, want to say about these base game. That's a base game item. I thought it would be like life and death, but I never seen that item. So if you don't know, that's a base game. And I felt as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's perfect. That gives me church vibes. So I went that. Like I said, that's what I went off. I don't know church, but I was like, church vibes, I'm adding it. So that was my criteria, which is very simple. But yeah, also this part is gonna have some cuts, just because I've felt that obviously don't want to get dizzy. Also, with that red wall decor, I added that just because I remember learning back in middle school about the Passover and how they put the goat's blood, I believe, over the doors to protect themselves. So that's a religious thing. I'm gonna add that detail. And yeah, that's my reasoning for that. Also, here I decided to add just some portraits of a little, what is it? Memorial on in this area. Unfortunately, incense wasn't a base game item, so I just settled for rose, which, I mean, the rose is a nice little thing to add. Also, this area here, I ended up putting a piano here, even though it's a bit of a tight squeeze. Hopefully the Sims can get in, but if not, I'll have to figure that around. But yeah, I ended up putting a piano there, just like I said. I feel like a piano is very church thing, like church choir. Went ahead and did that as well. What else did I do? I wish there was better seating for the church. I know obviously we had that one with the wedding stories, I believe, or is it life and death? The wooden bench. I would have loved to have that instead, but it didn't. Well, obviously we didn't have it, but this was the next best thing. I mean, we had those outdoor furniture that has the wood. No, outdoor. What am I trying to say? We have that wooden bench that you can use for outdoors, but I just felt like that looked too much outdoors and not really indoors. So that was my reasoning for that. Also, here I just have a little area where the Sims can community help out for the kids and needs, stuff like that. But be a nice thing to have, a little community, like a church should, giving back. But what else did I do in this area? Also did a little food area as well. Use the same table, but I think I just changed the colors. And I think nothing wrong with having repeats, but I don't know why I was so adamant about not repeating. But oh yeah, this here I did a small art room today. I figured some activity would be nice to have for The Sims. Considering this is going to be a generic lot type, so hopefully when Sims come, they can obviously have something to do, which I think is only really instruments and painting. Also, this house library, I feel like that'd be a good thing to have, because when the church has what is it? Those studies. oh god, I'm blanking. I don't know what it's called. We know what it's called if you know. But when you read your Bible study. Yeah, that's why I figured they would have some little checkout area. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's very simple build because one, I'm using base game, and two, I don't really know what a church would have, so really no fault but my own, because I'm putting the restrictions of base games, and I could have looked up a church. But yeah, I was definitely trying to get inspiration with what I know. But yeah, I feel like it does the job well enough, but you'll see. I'm curious what you guys would have added, or what would have been a good thing to put in, because I can't really think of what would fit nicely. Like, what is it missing? Maybe something obvious and I just don't know. Like, I mean, the cross, I didn't put that, but I don't have the tool mode. So, but I mean, I could probably do that before. I'll just get something from the gallery. Maybe I'll do that, and then when I upload to gallery, it'll be, all set. Even though I feel like it looks churchy enough, but it doesn't hurt to add something more in terms of decoration. But yeah, all right. The video's already almost over, so I'm gonna let you guys check out the video tour. Hope you enjoyed this one. I know it's not a residential lot, but I figured adding a little something would be a little nice. So yeah. All right. Take care. Enjoy the video tour. Bye.